It would seem Gino and Chrissy's futures over at Compound Media are not as sure as they may have seemed. Let's hear Gavin, because of course it's Gavin and not Ant, explain why that is.
Gav, okay, now we got to talk about the hard-hitting stuff. Huge news.
Okay.
You and Anthony Cumia, I'm not just saying this, are my two favorite broadcasters out there. You guys have both had the upper echelon of success. You guys have both been canceled.
It's upper echelon.
You guys have both been able to find a way to come back from every cancelization that you had. Now tell us, what is going on with Compound and Censored? Now you are merged together. Let's be real, the only profitable show on Compound, I would imagine, is Anthony's. Is that correct?
I would think.
Well, yeah, that's the same as InfoWars and Censored. You know, there's and The Blaze is nothing without Alex Stein.
You guys are not on the level of The Blaze or Daily Wire or any of that. Not even close.
So there's always these flagship shows, and everyone else is sort of in seventh place. But that's typical. So Ant was the main guy. Really, the fusion here is me and Anthony, and we just have great chemistry on our Wednesday shows. So we thought, let's merge the networks, and we're trimming some fat, I guess. Anthony spent like an African American who just won the lottery for the past 10 years.
So you took it over, and now Gino Bisconte is out there crying because he doesn't have a free show anymore, which I'm empathetic to. But what's the deal with all?
Why are you empathetic to Gino? He has to provide value in order to receive it? Oh, poor Gino.
That drama.
Well, I told Gino, I made him an offer, but it was like a tenth of what he was making at
10. I hope he's being literal and not at all hyperbolic. That is just beautiful to me if Gino really was offered 1/10 of what he was making.
At Compound. I'm sorry, but I'm a free market dude. I'm Scottish. We're cheaper than Jews. And my thing is, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. And I think Ant was more like, Italians. He's like, hey, come on in. You want some more prosciutto? And I'm like, no, you've had enough prosciutto. Hold on a second here.
Well, and this is the other thing people don't realize. Anthony was kind of on the tail end of those big multi-million-dollar checks that radio broadcasters get. Now, in this day,
we just heard how he spent, though, from Gavin. So how much of that is still around? I don't know.
In age, they don't get those contracts. So Anthony is still considerably wealthy, I would guess. But financially, this has to be much better for him. Even if he does have money, now he's saving a lot of money. Let's just be.
Well, yeah, he had back-to-back 50K losses. Of course, this is better. It's being run as a business now, the way it should have been years ago. For some reason, it took this long, though.
Real.
I mean, he was grossing over $1 million with that site, and it was all going to the staff. I need a bigger net than that. I think, if you're not making 30-40% net, you got to change your business plan.
Yeah, because he's spending $1 million, and if you're not getting a lot, that's a lot of hot dogs without a lot of mustard back to put on them, and everybody needs mustard on their hot dogs. Gavin,
how much are you making at Blaze these days?
What? I make about $62,000 a year.
I don't believe you.
$5,000 a month, and then I get a $2,000 bonus if I don't get arrested.
That's how much I make for eating fried chicken.
Yes, and we don't pay him at all. No, and I'm very lucky to be at the Blaze, but you're right. You got to get subscribers, you got to get content, you got to get clicks. It's not that easy.
Or you got to run it like a business. You got to have more revenue than expenses. It's very complicated, very, very complex.
And people going on their own, they're realizing it would have been better, and this is no disrespect to Gino, and I like Chrissy too. They got to build their own show. That's just the only way to make it. You can't be reliant on anybody else. I mean, is that a bad assessment?
Yeah, it's not the Wild West, because that's not the phrase, but it is the Wild West. And the days of having a network where you spend all this.
I imagine correcting somebody on their use of Wild West while you're wearing just the fakest fake Western get-up. Like, what?
This money, and you have this show and that show and everything. That's gone. Now it's more like everyone is their own YouTube, and we'll give you the infrastructure, but you got to eat what you kill.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound great for Gino and Chrissy, but at least the Compound subs are happy with the service, right? Jesus, the difference is already noticeable. Anthony doesn't seem to be taking calls and was talking about bad baby getting punched in the face, and the person who is supposedly to put the picture up didn't even have it ready. I've said it a million times. Ant's skill is riffing with others. It's not his hot takes on news. I love how 1/3 of his stories are incompetence, people without morals, management failures, etc. Because all I think is, how are you this dumb? That was an excellent point, OK Print 6209. His self-delusion is really impressive. That's why he can't stop drinking. He's not so dumb that if he was sober, he wouldn't realize everything is his fault. But booze demands you point that finger elsewhere, mister. How long is it going to take before Anthony's work ethic kicks in and Gavin is upset with how few shows he is doing? Think we go a month? That will never be an issue because regardless of his output, Anthony has brought in a lot of new subs and Gavin is primarily a businessman. Even beyond that fact, I think Gavin would never part ways with Anthony willingly unless he is totally insolvent and somehow cutting ties with Ant is the only way to keep a roof over his head. And that got 3 downvotes net. And somebody replies, it really is a weird codependent relationship. Gavin is obviously smarter than Anthony, but yet he feels the need to constantly nurture him. It's sort of gay. It is, just a little bit. Where are all the archives? I will never subscribe again if this is going to be how it is. This is complete garbage. Where are the archives of all the shows? And then this is showing back to back to back unhappy posts. Anthony's show was rough today, and it took a while for them to get the show on the app. And then there's the where are all the archives one? Jesus, the difference is already noticeable. Where are the CM archives? Does this mean the RSS feed are gone? I saw somebody replying in there that probably because Gavin is like that has to have video, according to him. I don't know how true that is. If somebody said it. Yeah, that's what's being explained there. If you care that much. And then yeah, Garrett and Steve, they're doing their own thing. They got Patreon. Gavin supposedly gave them an offer, and they said no. Too little, too late. We're gonna do our own thing. Which yeah, that's what everybody should have done a long time ago. So good for them, I guess. And I just thought this was interesting. But if you go over to censored.tv, the Anthony Cumia show is on there, but it's one up from the bottom. I don't know why they went with that. Supposedly, it's the other flagship show. That's really what they're merging, but for some reason he's like 20. You almost have to hit the view all shows button to see that. He was 2 away from not even being included on the first page of shows. Seems a little bit weird, but I don't know. I guess that's what running it as a business looks like. You put your number 2 guy all the way at the bottom, almost on page 2. Weird choice, but that's all I got for you guys.